Good afternoon, everyone. I really hope you're all doing great and staying absolutely safe as well. First of all, would like to welcome you all to this platform of IAS Origin. IAS Origin की इस platform पे बहुत-बहुत स्वागत है. Namaskaram everyone. And I really hope you're doing absolutely fine. Every one of you. Hi Asta, Alina, Priyanka, BCA, Naveen, Chaitra, GN, Khobur, 750. All the people out there who have joined me in the session. First of all, a very warm welcome to all of you. And secondly, I'm sure about one thing. I don't need to tell you that how important this topic is. I don't need to tell you the intensity of this topic because you're all aware of this thing, that this is one of the most important topic which we have in the modern Indian history. That is all the viceroys and governor generals. Okay. So you all are aware of this thing, that we have to prepare this topic, and everyone is understanding that we are going to have a proper, concise and precise discussion on this very topic in this very class. So make sure you all add this session to your liked video so that you can at your own will revise it later on. There shouldn't be a problem that where do you find the topic once again, and make sure you subscribe to the channel also, so that later on as well, if we are conducting any important session, you should be getting proper notifications. Proper notifications you will be getting only and only if you are subscribing to the channel of IAS Origin. So make sure you do that. And having said that, let's certainly start this particular session. But before I start this session, I would like to tell you that where do you find the PDF of this session, because PDF again is very much important for your revision part. So make sure that you join the Telegram channel of IAS Origin in order to get the PDF of this very session. So you will be easily getting the PDF. I'll be telling you the Telegram channel as well. Don't worry about that. So you just need to join this IAS Origin Telegram channel. This is the one. So as you can see, and you can get the PDF. Every session's PDF I provide here. Every session PDF you get on this Telegram channel of IAS Origin. Either you type that on your Telegram or you just scan this QR code and you will be reaching to this Telegram channel. That's not a very difficult thing for you to do. I'm sure you guys are all super smart, so you will be able to find it easily. So that's not a problem, I'm sure. So on this very note, let's start this session bit. I hope you guys are all set. Got it? Now, before even start the session, we need to understand the nitty-gritties. We need to understand the terminology which is used. Getting it? For example, when I talk about the British India, when I talk about the British India administration, what do we observe? We observe that we used to have a Governor of Bengal post. Governor of Bengal was the post till 1773 Regulating Act. Then after Regulating Act of 1773, what do we have? From 1773 year till, remember, 1833, we have the post of what? We have the post of Governor General of Fort William, so Governor General of Bengal, as we call it. And from 1833 onwards, what do we have? We have the post converted or upgraded into the Governor General of India. Is it interesting? And let me tell you one thing, that this post was there after this year 1833. Charter Act of 1833 created that, and from 1858 till our independence, what do we have? We have, of course, Governor General of India post, but he was given additional title of Viceroy. So this title of Viceroy was used by the Governor General of India after 1858. So this timeline is certainly important. Let me be very much clear that this timeline is going to be very much important for us. So we have to have a basic idea about this thing, that we are aware of this very timeline. Is that clear or not? Everyone, I am hopeful that this is clear. Again, I'm repeating that please be very careful in this thing. In the British India, what are we going to observe? We are going to observe, all these terminologies. You can take the screenshot. I'll be giving you the PDF. You don't have to worry. Initially, the post was what? Initially, the post was known as Governor of Bengal. And what we observed was, till 1773, it was Governor of Bengal. Then from 1773 Regulating Act till 1833, it is Governor General of Bengal. And from 1833 onwards, we have Governor General of India. So this term is very much important, Governor General of India, you can see, है ना? And after 1858, this post is still there, but along with this post, he is getting the title of viceroy. So after 1858, everyone is using this title of viceroy. You got to understand this point. It is all very much important. So I certainly can see all your comments. Keep on commenting your doubts. I'll be clearing that. I can see so many students out there, and I'm not honestly able to read all your comments, but yeah. So Governor General and Viceroy are the same. Yes, Devika, they are absolutely the same. They're both the same. After 1858, everyone, like for example, let me take the example of Lord Curzon. So Lord Curzon is the Governor General of India, and he is also the Viceroy of India. It's one and the same thing. Is it interesting? So additional charge of Viceroy, additional, I would say rather, title of the Viceroy is being given. That is the way I see that. That is the way you can look at it. So all the people who have joined in the session, make sure to hit the like button and add this session to your liked videos, everyone. Isko like videos mein add kar lo, so that later on as well, you are in a position to revise it precisely. You can do that. Till here, I hope you are able to, understand this idea. Everyone is able to understand, what we are reading, what we are discussing. I am hopeful about that thing. Abhijit, thank you so much, bete. Thank you so much. Chaliye, it means a lot. So first of all, so many students have joined in the session. I would like to thank each one of you for giving so much support to this platform of IAS Origin. At this platform of IAS Origin, our main focus is only one, and that is giving you the best concise information without wasting any time of yours. It is as simple as that. Now, one additional information I would like to add over here. What is that additional information? Let's see. Okay, if I talk about Governor General of Bengal, from 1773 onwards, we have the post of Governor General of Bengal. So who is the first holder of this post? This is a question which at times you should be very much clear about. So who is the first Governor General of Bengal? Anybody who can tell me in the comment section. In 1773, who became the first Governor General of Bengal? It was the Warren Hastings. So you should understand the first Governor General of the Bengal was Warren Hastings. Warren Hastings is the person who is the first Governor General of Bengal. And when I say, from 1833 onwards, we have the Governor General of India. So who is the first Governor General of India? It is Lord William Bentinck. William Bentinck. Of course, we'll be studying each one of that, don't worry. And who is the first Viceroy of India in 1858? It is Lord Canning. So ये तीन नाम आपको याद रखने हैं. This is going to be very much important. If a question comes that who is the first Governor General of Bengal, it is Warren Hastings. That the year was 1773. Who is the first Governor General of India? It was 1833 and it is William Bentinck. Who is the person who is holding the charge of the first Viceroy of India? It is Lord Canning, as we all can see. So don't worry, you will be getting the PDF. You are bound to get the PDF. You don't have to worry for the PDF, bete. Focus on the clarity part. Clarity पे focus करेंगे, PDF मिल जाएगा. PDF is more Maya, as I say that. ठीक है, you will be getting the PDF. You don't have to worry. But what is more important is, we have to understand that clarity has to be there. I'll tell you, I take so many batches, and what I observe is that students do get confused in these things. Okay, sir, what is Governor of Bengal? When it became Governor General of India? When it became Governor General of Bengal? What is Viceroy? So this right in the beginning, what we are doing is much more important. And what I would suggest you guys to add this video to your liked videos. Liked videos may do add this by hitting the like button. And later on, it will be helpful for you guys to be revising adequately. हाँ जी, बिल्कुल कहा था निखिल. I said this thing. So that's what I'm saying, bete. मैंने यहाँ पे क्या बोला? That Lord Canning is the first person who is holding the charge of Viceroy as well. Of course, he is the Governor General of India, no doubt. But he is holding the charge of Viceroy as well. So he's the first person to do that. Because before him, everybody was just the Governor General of India. But Lord Canning is the person who is holding the additional charge of Viceroy. Nikhil, I hope it's absolutely clear. Okay, you can let me know in the comment section if this is absolutely clear to you guys. And one thing, which is important is that I'm glad you guys are asking, these questions, because this is what tells me कि आपको समझ आ रहा है. I will get the comment sections questions only and only when you guys are at least understanding the things. If you're not understanding anything, then I'm not going to get any questions. So actually, I am very much happy whenever you're sending, these good questions, because that gives me a confidence. Okay, whatever I'm teaching it, You are able to understand. What viceroy do? So, bete, they are leading the administration. They are at the apex. They are at the helm of the administration. That is the British administration के helm पे बैठते हैं, top पे बैठते हैं. ये आप याद रखना. Shall we start it now? So let's start. It's going to be a big list. So let's start that. It's going to be a quick revision for you. I hope you guys are ready for that. So this was a quick overview basically which I've given you. Let's start. Now having said that, let's start it. So no doubt that in 1772, Warren Hastings was appointed as the Governor General of Fort Williams in the Bengal. Now you got to understand one thing, that before him everybody is the governor only. You can say governor, commanding chief of the Fort Williams. But you remember this thing. This is a very interesting thing. Like you can see Warren Hastings. Initially, Warren Hastings is the governor of Presidency of Fort Williams, or you can say governor of Bengal. It's one and the same thing. Why Fort Williams? Fort Williams is basically the headquarters in Calcutta. So that is why at times they also write like Fort Williams, but basically it is governor of Bengal. So you can see Warren Hastings basically from 1772 to 1773, of course, he is the governor of Bengal. It is very much visible over here. See this. And because this position was created by the Regulating Act of 1773, what do we observe? This position has been created now, and that is why he is becoming the Governor General of Presidency of Fort Williams or Governor General of Bengal. So this is important for you guys to understand that it is basically this person Warren Hastings is becoming the Governor General of Bengal, and this position was created basically in 1773. So you have to be very much clear that this is the person who in 1773 onwards is becoming the Governor General of Bengal. I hope now it's very much clear. So now you will not forget this thing, that it is the Warren Hastings who for the first time is becoming the Governor General of Bengal. This position was certainly not there before this person. Now comes a very important thing. Yes, we will talk about that, Anurag. We will talk. See, basically, what is more important is we got to understand, later on, when we'll have the Viceroy concept, then British Parliament is having so much control. But initially, East India Company is having so much control. They have this court of directors, because technically at this point in time in India, British are a trading body. They are trading in India, with the face of East India Company. So they were having much control in the appointments and everything. Later on, after 1857, we will see British Crown and the British Parliament will have more control. Pavan, I hope this idea is very much clear. All right. So we have to understand this point that, whenever we're studying anything, precisely we have to have a basic idea about this particular thing. Dinesh, let me tell you one thing, this is basically a chronology class we are doing. We are studying everything in chronology. So small nuances will certainly take in some other class, but this is very much important that we understand that, they are changing the designation. Like governor is becoming the Governor General of the Bengal. This is how it is happening. Okay. So we just need to understand that through the Regulating Act, they are doing this nomenclature change. Nomenclature change means the name is changing basically. This is the point you got to be understanding. Okay. So they are just changing the names basically. So this is what we need to understand. Now, what is more important is, like, from examination point of view, we got to understand one thing, that during the times of Warren Hastings, what are we observing? No doubt he is the first Governor General of Bengal, but what is more important is that during his time, we are observing that Asiatic Society of Bengal in 1784 came up. It was basically by Sir William Jones. We saw this was founded, this was basically established, and we also saw a Supreme Court at Calcutta was established during the time of Warren Hastings. Got it? So what are the kind of the questions you can expect? You can get pair wale questions, you can get match the following questions also. So you should know that during which Governor General, what exactly is happening. During his time only, we saw, Regulating Act and Pitt's India Act came up. Now, we don't need to go into the detail because it will take some other class to go into the detail of it. We just need to know that during the Warren Hastings time, we have seen the first Anglo-Maratha war is taking place. The first Anglo-Maratha war. Now, the question can come, first Anglo-Maratha war pe who was the Governor General of Bengal? So, you should know about that. Rohilla war of 1774 is also taking place during his tenure. In fact, there is a very nice book which has been written on that. It has been written by John Strachey. The book is called Hastings and the Rohilla War. So it's a very important fact you need to understand that Hastings and the Rohilla War, this particular book has been written by Sir John Strachey. So again, you know what we are talking about, it's very much pre-oriented class. But it's a history class. Hadika, it is basically history class, so don't worry about that. I hope now you're getting a basic idea, everybody is getting the clarity. So Hastings and the Rohilla War is a very famous book of the British time. It has been written by Sir John Strachey. So you can be asked about the author of the book, or in the match the following they do ask these questions. So you need to be very much well versed with this kind of thing. Very important this is. So I hope it's clear. Now you got to understand this thing, that during his time only we made sure that we have got a criminal code, that is Fauzdari Code, and civil code, that is Diwani Adalat. Each district was to have that. So now what type of the question you can expect is that, you know, what is Fauzdari Adalat, what is Diwani Adalat, you should know. It is criminal code and it is civil code. So these basic distinctions, these basic nomenclatures, you have to be very clear about. Whenever a question comes, you should be able to answer that precisely. Clear hai ji? बेटे क्लास अभी तो स्टार्ट हुई है, ड्यूरेशन तो पता चल जाएगी. Stay till the end and you will realize what the duration is. Don't worry. I hope it's clear. So that is about the war in Hastings. Basically, you know, you need to know this idea about the war in Hastings. Now, you got to understand that after Hastings, we have a very important Governor General of Bengal, and that is Lord Cornwallis. So when I talk about Lord Cornwallis, let's try to understand about the Lord Cornwallis. Very important this is. Okay, we'll be talking about him. You can certainly take the screenshot. Okay. But I hope it's absolutely clear to you guys. Everyone, this should be absolutely clear to everyone. Perfect. Now, when I talk about the Lord Cornwallis, no doubt that during his time, we saw this Anglo-Mysore War took place, you know, Third Anglo-Mysore War. But there are much important things other than this as well. Now, what are these? We'll certainly be talking about. We have to know this thing, you know, in general, we call him the father of civil services in India. So why do we say that? I'll certainly be telling you that. We'll certainly be talking about this thing as well. So whenever we talk about Lord Cornwallis, we just have to understand this thing. Again, you know, these are very pre-oriented things. Let me tell you one thing. So founding father of the civil services, as we call him, you know, the police reforms, like the creation of the post of DSP is very much important. Then we talk about the permanent settlement system. Basically, permanent settlement system is what? It is a land revenue kind of system. Land revenue collection system we have in Bengal, Bihar, Odisha, we have that. So he is doing that. And not only that, he is doing the codification of laws, different laws basically. So as we call it, Cornwallis Code. So what is codification of law? Let me tell you, codification law we have to understand is very easy thing to understand. For example, the quantum of punishment is being decided. For this crime, you will get this punishment. For this crime, you will get this punishment. That is how we quantify everything. So basically, when I talk about the codification part, that is what the codification means. I hope it's clear. Yeah. But Asiatic Society, Priyanka, was about how we are studying about Indian theme, Indian knowledge, Indian traditions. So when the Western people or the British people or European people were trying to study about India, they are going to Asiatic Society of Bengal. So Asiatic Society of Bengal is like big library. They have so many journals, so many books, and people are going there to study like that. Is that clear? So that is what Asiatic Society of Bengal is. So we got to understand that whenever I talk about this aspect of, you know, Cornwallis, Lord Cornwallis, we got to be very clear about this thing that, you know, he's coming up with this codification of law. He is also known as founding father of the civil services, of course. Permanent settlement is associated with him. And always remember the chronology part is very much important. You know, chronology as in that who is Warren Hastings, then we have Cornwallis. This is quite important. And of course, different circuit courts are being established in the various towns. And we have European judges basically. A lot of appeals are being handled by them. So you just need to understand that establishment of circuit court is there. Police reforms are happening. Civil services we certainly see in India. And Cornwallis Code is certainly very much important, which is associated with the Lord Cornwallis. Lord Cornwallis as we call him. Very interesting. Now, we got to understand one thing, that the next one which we have on the list is John Shore. John Shore ki we'll be talking about. When you talk about the John Shore, during the John Shore, main event is of course the Battle of Kharda, 1795 Battle of Kharda. We don't need to go into too much detail of it. We just need to understand, okay, John Shore is there, 1793, 1798. And during his time, Charter Act is coming, which we will be studying in some other class, because ultimately what is important is that, Charter Act is a very detailed thing. So we just can't study it like that. We have to study about all the acts, all the Charter Acts, all the regulating act. We have to study in proper class. We'll do that down the line. Don't worry about that. We'll be planning that also. But here, what is more important is, when I talk about the John Shore, we talk about Battle of Kharda. So what is Battle of Kharda? Let me tell you. It was the Battle of Khurla, we call it, and it was between Hyderabad and Marathas. This one. So Battle of Kharda is basically between these two powers, we have to understand, and during the time of John Shore, this particular battle is taking place. Easy. Now, having said that, next one which we have on the list is Lord Wellesley. Wellesley we talk about. Now, when I talk about the Lord Wellesley, there are some important things which are associated with this person, which we need to understand. So I'll be, of course, talking about them. We'll be talking about each and everything precisely. But a circuit court is a very basic thing. Circuit court basically is going to handle appeals in the civil and criminal cases. Different appeals are coming to the circuit court. That is what the purpose is. Okay. Again, I would like to reiterate the purpose of the class. The purpose of the class is basically to know the chronology which we have when we talk about the Governor Generals. So that's very much important, right? We need to be understanding the basic chronology of, Governor Generals. This is going to be super important. Is that clear? Make sure you add this video to your liked videos, hit the like button so that later on you can use this for the revision part. Chali. Now, moving ahead of this aspect, don't worry, beta, PDF aapko mil jayegi. You will be getting the PDF. You don't need to worry in that direction. Now, when I talk about Lord Wellesley, let me tell you about this person. Lord Wellesley, as we talk about. Okay. Now, the biggest thing associated with this viceroy is what? Anybody who can tell me? We know him for the Treaty of Subsidiary Alliance. So, Subsidiary Alliance Treaty is what we know him for. It's an important policy of the British. What they're doing is, this is a Trojan horse technique. They are making sure when they sign this treaty with any Indian state, they are sending British forces to that state to protect it from any revolt. And slowly and steadily, they are trying to occupy that particular state. That is subsidiary alliances. So this is very dangerous thing. So you have to understand that, in 1798, he's coming up with this proper Treaty of Subsidiary Alliance through which they are trying to conquer Indian states. That's very dangerous. He is also known for Treaty of Bassein. And Treaty of Bassein is signed in 1802 with Marathas. With Marathas, he is signing the Treaty of Bassein. Very important. It led to the Second Anglo-Maratha War. That is also a thing. And third thing which we know him for is very interesting, that Fort Williams in Calcutta is now a college to train the civil servants. College? For the training of the civil servants, he is making sure that we have a college, that is Fort Williams. So keep a note of it. So we have to understand this thing. When I talk about the Lord Wellesley, we have to be understanding these three facts, very much important. First is, he's initiating the Subsidiary Alliance Treaty. Second thing is that Hyderabad is the first state to accept that. Third thing is that Treaty of Bassein, which is leading to the Second Anglo-Maratha War, is during his time. He is fighting 4th Anglo-Mysore War also, which is fought in 1799, and in this war, Tipu was killed. Tipu died in action. Very much important this is. And lastly, he is making sure that Fort Williams College of Calcutta is training the British civil servants. Very important this thing. So you have to understand that administrative purpose ke liye, they are making sure that they have a college in India, and that is Fort Williams College at Calcutta. So establishment of Fort Williams College is happening during the time of Lord Wellesley. So Lord Wellesley is important. Why? Because of so many facts. First is like Anglo-Mysore War 1799, then Anglo-Maratha War second, which is happening because of Treaty of Bassein. Third is Subsidiary Alliance Treaty, through which Hyderabad was occupied. And then we have establishment of Fort Williams College at Calcutta. This is quite important. बेटे समझ आ रहा है सबको? Hyderabad was the first state to accept it. Yes, I've told you already. Hyderabad is the first state to accept it. So, this way if we study things, I'm sure things are very much easy for us. Nothing like that. Everybody is able to make some sense, right? So that is the way you have to study it. As simple as that. Shall we move ahead? Now, when I talk about the next one, after Wellesley, he's not that important like this person, but yeah, we'll certainly be talking about that because we are doing in a proper chronology. And ultimately, what I feel is that, this ways you are going to have a proper clarity as well. You certainly are going to have a full-fledged clarity, which I personally believe. So, sir, now Fort Williams College trained. But now the Fort Williams College is under Indian Army. So Indian Army is based there. So now it is not a training college. It is basically a, Indian Army has controlled it. Got it? It's under Indian Army. It's in Calcutta. You can go and it's a very famous place. Eden Gardens ke paas mein hai. Chaliye. I'm good that you guys are asking the question. Everybody do add this video to your liked videos. All the people out there. Then we talk about George Barlow. Now these people are what? These people are Governor General of Bengal, not India. So after 1833, we'll have the Governor General of India wala concept. Okay. During his time, we are seeing Bank of Calcutta is established in 1806. Very important reform this is. And we have a major incident in the form of Vellore Mutiny. We have Vellore Mutiny of 1806. Now, what is a mutiny? Mutiny is a basic event, a sudden event in which, what are we observing? Mutiny is a sudden event in which we are seeing that in a particular army or in a particular area, the people who are serving the army or who are serving the police, they are not listening to the command of their seniors. When something like this is happening, that is a mutiny. If they are raising their voice against the seniors, that is a mutiny. So something like this is happening over here. So a lot of people think that 1857 was the first event. No. Even before 1857, we are having event like this, which is there in front of you guys. So you got to be very much clear in this regards. Thank you, Naveen. Thank you, Manav. Thank you, Tanuj Shaurya. It certainly means a lot, bete. You guys give so much support. It means a lot. Yeah. See, court martial is not a mutiny, Ashish. Court martial is what? If you understand, if you do mutiny, if somebody does a mutiny, then they will be subjected to the court martial. Getting it? Court martial is kind of a punishment. But mutiny is basically the act of not listening to the command of your seniors. So anyways, Vellore Mutiny is taking place in 1806 and it was under George Barlow. We saw that the Vellore Mutiny is taking place. Of course, it was suppressed by the British, but we need to understand about this particular aspect. Now, the next one which we need to understand is again very much important. And okay, so how to get the PDF? You will be getting PDF in the Telegram channel. I'll just show you the just hold on. This is the Telegram channel, bete. IAS Origin Telegram channel. So here you will be getting the PDF. Everyone, if you want the PDF, here you will be getting the PDF after this class. Okay. Anyway, so now you know about the this Vellore Mutiny, na? Everybody, Vellore Mutiny is taking place with George Barlow. Next one in the line is Lord Minto. Now I am writing Lord Minto 1. Why? Because later on as well, one more Minto will come. So that's why it is Minto 1. It is Minto 1 because later on as well, we will have one more Minto. So you have to be very much clear that this is Lord Minto 1. So from 1807 to 1813, we have Lord Minto. During his time, no doubt that we have got the Charter Act of 1813. We'll talk about that later. But what is more important is that Treaty of Amritsar with Maharaja Ranjit Singh was signed in 1809 by the British. And this treaty is a treaty of friendship. Why? Because ultimately what they are doing is they are settling the relationship between Sikhs and the British. They are using Satluj River as a boundary between the Maharaja Ranjit Singh's empire and the British Empire. So you have to be very much clear in this regard. So remember this thing, that this Amritsar Treaty is a treaty of friendship. It's a treaty of friendship which has been signed. It's a treaty of friendship. And basically, it has been signed in 1809 between British India, East India Company basically, and Maharaja Ranjit Singh, that is Sikh Empire. So this is quite important. It is happening during the time of Lord Minto. So this question again can come that, during whose time it was signed. So you should be aware of this point that it is during the time of Lord Minto I, that is 1807 to 1813. He was the Governor General of Bengal, that we have signed this particular treaty. Very important this point is. Is that clear? Very interesting points these are. So they are very basic aspects which we have to be understanding very, very precisely. Simple. So whenever a question comes, you should be having a basic idea about these points, that we have to study these things precisely. Shall we move ahead now? Okay, itna clear ho gaya? That is very much clear, I assume. Now moving ahead, bete, now I'll be taking you to the next one, and that is Lord Hastings. Now don't get confused between the War and Hastings, because this is a bit different. So what we have to understand is that from 1813 to 1823, we have this Francois Roden Hastings. Normally, he is known as Lord Hastings. Lord Hastings, we call him. What do we call him? Lord Hastings. So you have to understand one thing, that Warren Hastings is called Warren Hastings. This person is known as Lord Hastings normally. 1813 to 1823. During his time, there are a lot of things, but most important thing is the Third Anglo-Maratha War. So 1817, 1818 May, this war is taking place. Very important this is. Why? This is important because this is leading to they now abolished the Peshwaship. What is Peshwaship? The position of the Peshwa. Not only that, the Peshwa was sent to Bithur. He was sent to Bithur, which is near Kanpur. It was like an exile for him. Exile? So sending away. So remember this thing, that Peshwaship is abolished. That's one thing. Second thing is that ultimately it is during the time of this person only we have got this Third Anglo-Maratha War is fought. This war, which is also known as Pindari War. Pindari War, we call it. This is very much interesting. So we should be understanding this point, that it is the Pindari War we are looking at. Another very interesting thing is that during this particular person time or tenure, we are observing one more important thing, that is Anglo-Nepal War or Anglo-Gurkha War is fought, and it was settled by Treaty of Sagoli, 1816. So you should know the Treaty of Sagoli is associated with Anglo-Nepal War, and it is during the time of Lord Hastings. So now this is a very important event when we look at, the Peshwaship is being abolished, which was not a small event in the history of the Marathas. So we have to understand this thing precisely. Very important. Lord Hastings, as we have talked about. Clear? So can I assume whatever we are talking about, you are able to make some sense out of it? Everybody is able to understand the nitty-gritties which are involved. इतने सारे अलग words, बेटे अलग words नहीं याद रखने. You just need to remember the chronology part. इतने बस chronology आप याद रख लो. That is more than important for anything else. Do hit the like button and add this video to your liked videos, because only then you will be able to revise it once again. Just revise this video again and again and you will be good to go. Clear hai? So I'm just trying to give you a gist of it. It is not a very detailed one. I'm trying to give you a basic gist of it, and that is how you have to relate. Thank you, Manav. Thank you so much. Chalo. Good afternoon everyone. Clear hai itna? I hope you guys are absolutely clear. Yahan pe whatever we are talking about, you are able to make some sense out of it. Chalo. Now moving ahead. See here, what is more important is you just need to know that with Lord Hastings, what all is associated. That's the point you got to understand. Simply. Like he is introducing Ryotwari settlement system of the land revenue in the Madras. So it is during the time of whom? During the time of Lord Hastings, as simple as that. Because a lot of time examiner will try to confuse you with the Warren Hastings. That becomes problem. But a treaty with Scindia is not that important. You can skip that as well. Treaty with Scindias is certainly not that important. So yeah, you can skip this as well. Not an issue with that. See, इसको skip कर सकते हैं. But Third Anglo-Maratha War, that is Pindari War, is very much important. Abolish of Peshwaship is important. Sending Peshwa to exile is important. That is, he was sent to Bithur. These are the things which are certainly important. So that's why I'm trying to give you, the highlights that, okay, this, you have to be understanding, you have to keep in your mind. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So pick the gems always and you will be good to go. Okay. Moving ahead, like now, not every Governor General is so much important. For example, have a look at this person. Can you see that? John Adams, he's coming in 1823 and he's coming with the license regulations for the press. Now, what is press? Newspapers, journals. So basically, it is the press restrictions. It is the press related restrictions we are having. So Indian press is being restricted so that it doesn't enjoy the freedom it was observing earlier. So this is what the John Adams is doing, as simple as that. So you got to understand that when I talk about the licensing regulation, it was brought in by John Adams. Now I'll tell you one thing. You just tell me this thing. Has John Adams done good thing or bad thing? Tell me. Is it good or bad? You just write this thing. He has done a bad thing, right? So he is not very much celebrated because of this. So remember this thing, these licensing regulations later in year 1835-36 will be removed. So who will remove that? Now this is how you study. These were later on revoked or removed by Charles Metcalfe. Charles Metcalfe, like this. So remember that Charles Metcalfe, that is why is known as the liberator of Indian press. He is known as the liberator of Indian press. So this is a point we need to understand. Charles Metcalfe is known as liberator of Indian press. So this is how you relate that, because these licensing regulations later has been removed by Charles Metcalfe. Hanji, hanji. Bete, this class is absolutely for the UPSC. ठीक है? But Treaty of Segoli, Treaty of Segoli is different than Treaty of Sindhia. Treaty of Segoli is important because it was signed after the Anglo-Gurkha War. However, the Treaty of Sindhia is not that important. So that's why I said कि उसको छोड़ सकते हैं. Manju Chauhan, is that clear? Let me tell you something about myself. In case you are not aware, I have recently secured rank 25 in the Himachal Pradesh Administrative Service Examination in the entire state. So ultimately, what I will say is, you have to study important things, of course, and then you have to revise it again and again. This is what I can tell you from my own experience. That's a basic thing. So stick to the basics and try to revise as much as possible. Stick to the previous year questions, syllabus. This is the game changer thing. We try to study so much under the sun and we don't try to revise it, and that's the problem. We have to revise and revise. That is the trick. Trust me on that. Is that clear, everyone? So I've been guiding aspirants like you for the past 8 years. I've been associated with various, prestigious organizations, institutions, and ultimately that is the kind of the experience I'm bringing on the table for you guys. That's why I'm taking this class, because I know this topic is important from the examination point of view and you have to revise it. So because I know this thing, so that's why we are doing this topic. Okay, chalo, let's move ahead. Now the next one which we have on the list is Lord Amherst. Okay, Earl of Amherst or Lord Amherst, we can say that. So remember that Lord Amherst has got a few things associated with him. For example, we just need to know few things. For example, like first Anglo-Burma War. Burma? What is Burma? Burma is Myanmar. Myanmar, our neighboring country. So Anglo-Burma War, through which they occupied a big part of Burma, it was concluded by the Treaty of Yandabu. It was concluded by the Treaty of Yandabu. So capture Bharatpur is not important, but yeah, Treaty of Yandabu is important. So you got to understand that Treaty of Yandabu was signed when Lord Amherst was the Governor General. Easy. This is quite important. So this is how you are going to relate things. This is how you're going to be understanding things precisely. Trust me on that. So when I say Lord Amherst, this should strike to your mind, okay, this is quite important. And remember, this is how they have done that. Like this is what? This is Myanmar, right? So ultimately, a big chunk was taken away by the Treaty of Yandabu. So Treaty of Yandabu is for India and Burma war is being concluded by this particular treaty. This is what you need to understand. Like Anglo-Gurkha war, Treaty of Sagoli, Anglo-Burmese war, Treaty of Yandabu. These are important treaties. Secondly, you need to know the year. 1816 में संगोली थी, 10 साल बाद Yandabu is there. How difficult it is. So this is how you relate to that. See, these are strictly revision classes. They are proper revision classes, as you can see that. Thank you, Sufi. Thank you so much. हाँ, बिल्कुल 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 रिविजन करने से ही न्यूरल पैटर्न बनेगा. दिस इज एब्सोल्युटली फाइन. सो दैट्स व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू एम्फसाइज बेटे, दैट यू नो try to stick to the basics and you revise it 2-3 times, you will be able to master it all. This is a basic fact. I'll tell you the mnemonic also towards the end of the class. Now we will discuss the mnemonic also. Don't worry about that. So we have so much planned for you guys. Okay, just stay connected. You know, just subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed yet, and you will be seeing the magic happening. And ultimately everything is there in your mind. It is just that you have to have a basic clarity, basic idea, and that is something which is important. Chalo. It means a lot. Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you, Manav. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, you guys are giving so much support. This means a lot to me. Okay. Now, Amherst mein itna hi hai. This is what we have. Then we talk about William Bentinck. Now, remember about this person. Why is he important? When we talk about his tenure, this is the tenure. Let's divide this tenure into two parts. From 1828 till 1833, he is the Governor General of Bengal. However, from 1833 till 1835, he is what? He is the Governor General of India. I told you, right in the beginning. So why is this happening? This is happening because during his time, we have the Charter Act of 1833, which converted the post into the Governor General of India post. So ultimately, that is why we say that this person is the first Governor General of India, and because this happened in 1833, that is why I am saying from 1833 till 1835, he is the Governor General of India. Is that clear or not? Please do let me in the comment section. This is very basic. So we have to understand this thing, that he is the first person to hold the title of Governor General of India, because this post has been created by the Charter Act of 1833. Before that, we have the Governor General of Bengal only. हाँ जी ठीक है. निखिल, ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं है ना. आप ये ध्यान में रखें that if you are belonging to IIT, NIT, that is your academic thing. I can give you so many examples. I personally know they are not the people from IITs and NITs or any prestigious college. They have qualified the exam. No exam tells you, so no, listen to me, Nikhil. No exam is telling you, there is no qualification, right, that you are from IIT, NIT and then you are clearing the exam. Nothing like that. So what is more important is that you have to have confidence in yourself, and confidence will come only and only with the knowledge. Otherwise, confidence is going to be very much short-lived. So take care of that thing, just focus on the knowledge. That's what I would say. Don't focus on the trivial things here and there. Getting it? Chalo, anyways. Now remember one thing which is very much important. William Bentinck ke saath, we associate one more thing, that is abolition of sati practice. With the efforts of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, he pursued him so much that finally he was ready to abolish the inhuman practice of sati which was going on in India, and that has been done by whom? William Bentinck. So this is quite important. So remember, around 1829, he is abolishing the sati, and later in the next year, he is also suppressing the thuggi. What is thuggi? Thuggi means, dacoits come, robbers come, they kill the person, they take everything away. The travelers were killed, the travelers were attacked. That is what thuggi is. So they are also suppressing the thuggi. This person abolishing the thuggi. So you have to understand then who is the Governor General who is abolishing the sati practice. It is William Bentinck. Secondly, who is the first Governor General of India? It is William Bentinck. Now you understand this thing. Initially he was the Governor General of Bengal. Later on, because of this act, he is becoming the Governor General of India. This is how you study bete. So I am just trying to make sure that you are getting a good level of clarity about things, because these are the things which at times will be asked in the examination. Then how do you tackle that? That is the biggest thing. So remember this point very, very clearly. So first Governor General of India is William Bentinck. So if you remember in the beginning, what I did was, I gave you a brief overview of everything, right? Remember? Like I told you this thing, that okay, we have Governor General of Bengal. So till 1773, we have the Governor of Bengal. 1773 के बाद we have Governor General of Bengal. So Governor of Bengal is becoming Governor General of Bengal by regulating act. Warren Hastings was the first person to hold this title. Then in 1833, what we are having? We are having Governor General of India, and William Bentinck is the first person to hold this title. And later on, we'll see after 1858, we will have Viceroy post created, and Lord Canning is the first person to hold the post of Viceroy. Remember this thing or not? This is as simple as that. It's very basic. बेटे ठगी मतलब डकैती. Yes, Adit, I appreciate your comment, bete. ठीक है, I appreciate this. Nikhil, you have got your answer. ठगी is not just theft. ठगी is robbery. मंजू बेटे, मैं हिंदी में भी पढ़ा सकता हूँ. एक्चुअली इस क्लास में क्या है कि इंग्लिश मीडियम के काफ़ी बच्चे थे. सो I'll try to segregate the classes later on. हिंदी के लिए भी कर लेंगे, इंग्लिश के लिए भी. बट आई थिंक नॉलेज इज देयर, सो नॉलेज इज तो न्यूट्रल. दैट्स व्हाट आई फील. So governor generals are not important. Yes, they are important, Vaishna. They are certainly important. Governor generals are important. Governors are not important because they are very much random. But after Warren Hastings, everybody is important. After Warren Hastings, certainly we are seeing that everyone is important. Is that clear, everyone? So we have to understand this aspect very, very clearly. Is that clear, everyone? So what I feel is that, you are in a position to have a good level of clarity on things. That is one thing. And ultimately, that is the kind of the clarity you require from the examination point of view. This is certainly very much important. Chalo, moving ahead. Now, as we have seen, so we have done like William Bentinck, we have done. And now you know about various aspects. Okay, I would like to show you the snippet. This is very interesting snippet. Try to have a look at it. For example, if I talk about William Bentinck, okay, he has abolished sati in 1829, and of course, suppression of thuggi he is doing 1830. Two things are important. If in exam they ask you about abolition of slavery, who did that? You will say, sir, Lord Ellenborough. Of course, we'll be studying Ellenborough later, but you should know that abolition of slavery is associated with the Lord Ellenborough. If somebody asks you abolition of female infanticide, you will simply say, sir, Lord Hardinge is behind the abolition of female infanticide. If somebody asks you that widow remarriage, who is encouraging or who brought the act for that, you should understand the Lord Dalhousie is the person. So, that is important for your revision. This is important for your revision, or you can add this snippet in your notes, so you can take the screenshot of this. Try to take the screenshot of that, and trust me, it will be very much important. Getting it? So this content which you're getting over here is very much exam oriented. ये जो content है ना, you will not get anywhere else. So I have tried to make sure that every best source is being consulted before I come to the class. So that's not a random class you're getting over here. It's the best class which you can get. Doctrinal labs will talk about that. I'm just talking about the reforms. So these are the various social reforms brought in by the various viceroys. So you should understand that if I talk about the various viceroys, so William Bentinck is associated with these two things. Ellenborough with the slavery abolition, Hardinge with the female infanticide abolition, and Lord Dalhousie with encouraging the widow remarriage. So with years, I've given it all so that it is easy for you to recall in the examination as well. है कि नहीं? मतलब, this is the kind of the clarity you require from the examination. Because in exam, if they ask you about this match the following, you will be very much confused. Because you have to understand that Ellenborough is basically associated with the slavery abolition. Now, since you have read it over here, you will not be confused. है ना? So, because this question comes that slavery abolition during whose time? So basically in 1843 properly the slavery was abolished in India. Gulami, slavery, it was abolished properly. This is the beauty of the class. So I am just trying to make sure that you are understanding these facts. Thank you Vinayak, thank you Komal, everyone. Dinesh will talk about the doctrine of lapse. Don't worry, we have not studied Dalhousie yet. I am just giving you a chart so that different social reforms by which viceroy or which governor general we are looking at. That is what we are basically talking about. Of course, we can't call them viceroys. We will call them Governor General of India only, because viceroy I can use only after 1858. So this is before 1858. That was ज़्यादातर common. हाँ जी. देखो निखिल, I won't say सिर्फ common sense. It is mix of knowledge and common sense both. It's a mixture of both. See, they are being referred to as Lord because it's a title which British nobility is using. In Britain, they are using this title of Viceroy. That's the basic idea. They are basically using the title of Viceroy. This is what they are doing. Is that interesting? So, what I feel is, retention is limited. So, not everything can be studied in one day. So, we'll be doing it in two parts. Like, one part we'll do today and another part we'll do tomorrow. That's fine. But what I personally feel is that, this class is going to set an example how you're supposed to revise things properly. Revision is very important, very, very important. Trust me on that. If you guys are not revising adequately, then there is a serious problem with your preparation. Remember this thing always. Preparation has to be sound, has to be streamlined. It will happen only when you are revising things. Anyways, we'll do few more. For example, I told you already sometimes back that Charles Metcalfe, what he is doing, he is known as liberator of Indian press. Note it in your notebooks. Who is known as the liberator of Indian press? It is Charles Metcalfe. Why? Because he is removing the press restrictions from the press in India. Remember, John Adam brought it in 1823. So he is removing them all because he wants to liberate the Indian press. Because he wants to make sure that Indian press is free. Indian press should be, free to, publish various things precisely. That is what we are looking at. So this is quite important. Easy. So it is Charles Metcalfe, liberator of Indian press, we call it. Any doubts you have, you surely can let me know. Any doubts you guys have, you surely can let me know. ठीक है. Any particular doubts you guys have, you surely can let me know. Is that clear? Perfect. Now, we talk about Lord Auckland. Lord Auckland we talk about. Why? So the first Anglo-Afghan war, basically, British and Afghanis, they are fighting, and here the British lost. British lost badly. So this is actually a big blot on the image of Auckland, I would say. It's a big blot on the image of Auckland that British are losing this, because ultimately, yeah, after 1833, Governor General of India is there, of course. Got it? And before 1858, they're all just Governor General of India. After 1858, they will all be Governor General of India plus the title of Viceroy. I've told you so many times. Now remember one thing, when I talk about Eden Garden, Eden Garden? So we have to know Eden Garden is a cricket stadium of India mein hai, this thing. So one very interesting thing I would like to add, which is quite interesting fact, Auckland, Lord Auckland has sisters. What were the name of the sisters? It was Emily Eden and Fanny Eden. So Emily Eden and Fanny Eden. So on their names, we have got a cricket stadium by the name of Eden Gardens. You know Eden Gardens? It's in Calcutta or Kolkata now. So remember this thing, Lord Auckland is having sisters on whose name we are having this particular stadium which we have Eden Gardens. So this is quite important thing we have to be understanding. Any particular doubts you guys have, you surely can let me know. So he's the Governor General of India. So it has been named after Eden sisters, basically Emily Eden and Fanny Eden of Lord Auckland. So initially we call it, Auckland Circus Gardens, and then it was renamed as Eden Gardens in 1841. So this is quite interesting. 1841 mein he was the Governor General of India. Is this interesting fact or not? You do tell me. So remember that Eden Gardens has been named in the Kolkata in 1851 after the sisters, that is Eden sisters of Lord Auckland. Now that's the point you got to understand. है कि नहीं interesting? So you may not get these things in any books. These particular things you may not be getting in any book. So that is why it is important for us to be reading it over here. है ना? Okay. Yes, army में होता है, that's a different one. This is different. Thank you Komal, thank you Manav, thank you Vinayak, all of you. So second thing is, of course, during his time, death of Ranjit Singh is happening. He is not behind the death, but it is a natural death, 1839 May. And then Bank of Bombay was established during his time. But the most important thing is, of course, the disaster, that is First Anglo-Afghan War, in which the British lost badly. It was during time of Auckland, and on his name of the sister, on the sister's name, we have got Eden Gardens named. So my job is very clear that my class should give you something important from the examination point of view, as simple as that. If you are getting that, absolutely it is fine. Now remember this thing, the next one on the list is Lord Ellenborough. So abhi just sometimes back we did talk about the Ellenborough, remember? What did we talk about? We talk about Ellenborough abolition of slavery. See it here, we have studied that. So again, whenever we talk about the Ellenborough, you should know that slavery abolition is associated with Ellenborough. So yeah, we need to keep this thing in our minds. Ellenborough ke saath we have got the slavery abolition, that is 1843. Slavery abolition is happening. And we also see Bank of Madras is established. So what is more important is Bank of Madras is being established during the time of Ellenborough. So why it is so much important? Let me tell you this thing. See, what we see is, the Bank of Calcutta, the Bank of Madras, the Bank of Bombay, later on in 1921 were amalgamated to become the Imperial Bank of India, which later on became the State Bank of India, which we have even today. So this is why I was telling you about these banks. Remember this thing, very much important. So when we talk about SBI, it was initially this only. So remember this thing, that Imperial Bank of India, which was created in 1921, later on it became the State Bank of India. So this is one aspect we have to be clear about. Any doubts? So SBI basically it became in 1955. So it's very interesting. Initially this Bank of Calcutta, Bank of Madras, Bank of Bombay, they're coming together to form the Imperial Bank of India in 1921, which after independence it is becoming in 1955 the State Bank of India. Is that interesting? So that's why I was telling you about these aspects. Yeah. So I appreciate your patience that you are sitting throughout the class and you're gaining so much knowledge, which is great. So, but I think we have talked about each and every bank precisely. Remember I told you about each and every bank. Initially we talked about the Bank of Calcutta, then we are talking of different banks. So let me tell you one thing. Bank of Calcutta, remember Barlow ke time pe 1806 mein it formed, in the time of the Barlow, George Barlow, Vellore mutiny wale bhaiya, during his time. And then we have the Bank of Bombay established. During whose time is Bank of Bombay being established? Tell me. Now that is for you to tell me. Auckland, 1840. So Bank of Bombay was 1840 mein, it was established during the time of Auckland. And 1843 mein Bank of Madras is established. 1843 mein Bank of Madras established during the time of Ellenborough. So you got to understand, in 1921 these three banks are coming together to form the Imperial Bank of India. So this is interesting. Bank of Calcutta 1806, Bank of Bombay 1840, Bank of Madras 1843, all coming together in 1921 form the Imperial Bank of India, later on in 1955 becoming the State Bank of India, which we have even today. Yeah, mutiny is like revolt only. But in mutiny, we have army people who are not listening to the commands of the seniors. That's how we look at it. Is that interesting? So see, what I believe is that, you have to study step by step. So today we have covered like 1773 war in Hastings till like 1844, you can see, Ellenborough we have done. We have done that. Everyone satisfied? So just revise this first of all, and then tomorrow we'll be doing like Harding, Dalhousie, then of course we'll do Canning, Lawrence and all, Lytton. So we'll be doing all that. So tomorrow, if you like this class today, I'm sure you'll be liking tomorrow class more, because tomorrow I'll also tell you the tricks to remember. So tomorrow we'll be going from 1844 to 1947. So tomorrow we are going to have the part 2 of this on this very channel of IAS Origin, of course. So you don't have to worry in that regards. But in one class, it's not possible to cover everything, then it will be a lot of hodgepodge thing. I believe 1 hour is good enough for a class. So anyways, now what is more important is you'll be getting the PDF, don't worry. So what you have to do is you just have to join this Telegram channel to get the PDF. As simple as that. जो भी आज पढ़ा है हमने, whatever we've studied today, you can easily revise. You can go onto the channel, IAS Origin Telegram channel, or you can simply scan this. You can join it like that also. Go over there. Make sure you revise it. If you have not hit the like button, make sure you hit the like button so that this video goes to your liked videos. And then when it goes to your liked videos, you can ultimately revise it later. This is what I personally believe is important. Thank you so much for all your love and support. It really means a lot. Alina, Navjot, Tanuj, all the people out there. It certainly is very much encouraging for us to prepare the best content for you guys. Vinayak, Nikhil. So today we have done till here. Tomorrow we'll be completing the viceroys. And then again, very enriching sessions are going to come for you at 12 p.m. live every day on this channel of IAS Origin. So थोड़ा और पढ़ाइए. बिल्कुल कल पढ़ाएंगे जी लियो. I'm glad you said this thing, but कल ज़रूर पढ़ाएंगे और. So tomorrow be here at 12 p.m. sharp. ठीक है? So this class is basically a quick revision class and I hope you understand that thing. So tomorrow see you all at 12 p.m. sharp. इस पे जाइए चैनल पे and PDF को लेके revision enjoy करिए. And have a great day everyone. Sat Shri Akal, Adab, Namaskar everyone. Thank you so much and have a great day everyone. So that's it from my side. That's Akash Randev signing off. Bye bye everyone.